Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration to assist you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Today I want to touch on just a couple of things to give you something to think about, perhaps to help you find a place of peace, a place of center, and to begin to look at your life to decide what changes need to be made in order to move you more in the direction of full self-realization, because that is why we are here. We are here to know the truth of who and what we are. And so what I want to start out with is how my life and things that are going on in my life are making me take pause and ask myself, what does this situation have to do with my own personal journey towards self-realization and self-mastery? Because sometimes we find ourselves hung up on a situation. We find ourselves just caught up. It's like being on a hamster wheel of turmoil regarding something. And at the end of the day, we're more powerful than that. We don't have to stay stuck. But one of the questions we can ask ourselves to help us get unstuck is, what does this have to do with me knowing the fullness and the truth of who and what I am? Why am I going through this particular situation? It's a very important question to ask, because if we don't ask that question, probably we're destined to experience two things. First and foremost, we're destined to stay stuck in that situation. And even if we're able to let that situation subside, if we don't really get how will this free me to know the truth of who and what we are, we don't really get that answer from that situation. Another way of saying it, if we don't really learn the lesson, it will repeat itself. So it is important for us, I like the way some people describe it, is to be curious about, what is this? Why is this causing me to feel negative, to be stuck? I'm just like so caught up in it. I'm not taking care of other things. We have so many things. It's so important for us to take stock on a regular basis. What is it that we say we want to achieve? What are the things that we say are important, so that we can keep in mind, perhaps this is blocking me from taking care of what is most important. So we need to ask ourselves, what does this have to do with self-realization and self-mastery? And I find myself in this situation on a regular basis, someone who is annoying the crap out of me. And I just find myself thinking about it on a regular basis in a way that I'm not comfortable with, because I typically can just let stuff go. I can move on. I can accept people do what they do, and just say, it's water off my back. But in this particular case, I can't quite figure out what is it that I keep myself sort of tense about this person and this situation. I'm starting to ask questions, and it's making me ask myself today, what does this have to do with self-realization? Because I don't want anything to block me from continuing to open up to the truth of who and what I am. And this situation doesn't make me feel expansive. It makes me feel contracted. And so I'm sharing what's going on with me in an effort to help you perhaps make the same connections in your life, and to begin to ask the same questions. Life is too short to waste it on staying stuck in a lesson that we can just freaking get and move forward. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the reading for this week, which is I'm in negative, dark deceased negative. And so it sort of ties into what I'm talking about, because anytime dark deceased energies are on the scene, what they are energies who lived, but when they transitioned out of this world, they became stuck. They didn't run into the light to go fully onto the other side. So it's sort of like their spirit is, not sort of like, their spirit is essentially stuck between the physical world and being fully in the non-physical realm. And so a lot of times what ends up happening is they are trying to get unstuck. They hang around us, and a lot of times they're relatives. Sometimes I just feel like it's just dark energies of some sort that find me. But dark deceased typically are ancestors that are hanging around us, and they want to get unstuck. And so when their energy gets around us, it makes us, it affects us. It typically affects us in the way that is the reason that they became stuck in the first place. So if we knew exactly which ancestor was hanging around us, and we went back and looked at that ancestor's life, we could see, exactly what it was that caused that ancestor to get stuck. What was that problem? What was that dark way of being? And that they are in some ways giving an indication to us that we're on the path to becoming dark deceased if we don't get ourselves together. For me, it is thinking. It is thoughts, exactly what is going on right now. And so you have to think about, what is that dark place within you? The darkness within is not necessarily a bad thing. However, the question is, how is this darkness affecting us? Is it like having a primary seat in our lives, or do we need to just appreciate it for what it is, allowing the darkness to come up, but we are handling it within the light? We're not, having this intimate relationship with this darkness. And so look at, what are the dark aspects of your psyche? What are your dark behaviors? What darkness is within you that is affecting you? Some of us have darkness within that is a reflection of our wounding. And we a lot of times use that to hold us as a prisoner. We use that to, we don't want anyone to know about it because we think we're terrible people, because something, perhaps some abuse, we witnessed something that affected us, and it's we keep it to ourselves because we're so ashamed of it. There's so many people out there like you. Okay, let me just let you know, you're not the only one. Maybe you did something that was just downright wrong, okay, to somebody else, and you have that. And that darkness within, especially when we're trying to keep it a secret, we're not dealing with it, and it makes us feel terrible. Those are the kinds of things that we need to be looking at. What is there? Because that darkness within and around us, and if dark deceased are hanging around us, it's one thing for me when they hang around and I'm like, oh, that's dark deceased. I send you, okay, let me tell you this. This is what you say to the dark deceased. I send you on your way with light and love towards your healing, but you cannot stay here, leave dark deceased, okay? That's what you can say. And so when I'm cool, when I'm good, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, dark deceased is around. I say that, send them on their way with light and love towards their healing. But when I'm caught up in my own darkness, and those dark deceased are hanging around me, that's on me, okay? Especially if I'm not aware of it, and I'm just getting all caught up in this negativity, and I'm being negative, and I'm doing negative things, I'm not being of light. That's on me. We can't blame our stuff, all of our stuff, on dark deceased. And so those energies, that programming, that relationship, those dark energies are in fact creating a way for us to operate. It's affecting our energy. And so what we have to do is we have to be open to choosing peace. Peace, as I see it, can be your default nature. Peace is your true nature. It can be your default setting, is what I meant to say, because peace is our true nature. But we let life, we let ourselves get caught up with life so much that we develop a different default setting. And so this week is saying you need to get back to your true default setting, which is a place of peace. And that everybody needs to get a handle on stress. We think we are dying of chronic illnesses more than anything in this modern day society. We are highly affected by stress, okay? And a lot of it is we are inducing stress within ourselves. It is creating mega problems. It's going to open us to even more the ability for dark energies and dark deceits, dark ways, darkness within to have even greater hold and effect on us, okay? So we have to start taking steps and move more in the direction of our true nature. And how do we do that? We have to unplug ourselves as much as we can from any source of stress. We have to unplug ourselves from the darkness within. How do we unplug ourselves from the darkness within? Bring it up into the light. Open up the light on the darkness. The more we stuff it down, it's like it gives it power and it has a stronghold on us, okay? So we need to open up and just admit and figure out what we're going to do to unleash this release, this darkness within us. We're in the season of fall right now. Fall is all about taking Oya's broom. Oya is the mother of the wind. She's the mother of tornadoes. She's the mother of transformation. She is like release, let go, okay? Because we are walking around carrying bags and bags and bags of stuff that's just weighing us down. So this is a good season right now if you're in North America, the Northern Hemisphere, to start letting go, okay? It is important for us to unplug from unnecessary conversations, the news. Take in as much as you need to feel informed and just leave the rest. I sometimes feel there is a higher plan by some powers that be, physical powers that be, that seek to control our minds. So the less we turn ourselves over to the media, the mainstream media in particular, to TV, to too many sources that don't care about us. If you're going to listen to something, take in somebody who cares about you, who is feeding you positivity, light, that is contributing to your peace, okay? And shut off all other sources. If you have a lot of chaos going on in your home, you have to start doing some ritual work, saying some prayers, making a concerted effort to get the stress out of your home. You do not have to live like that, okay? And sometimes it will take you working on you first to be able to create that shift in the home, okay? So this is a week for us to get quiet and to get peaceful, centered in peace, centered within our lives, not allowing negative distractions, negative energies, our own negativity, okay? We have got to stop scapegoating on everybody. Yeah, sometimes it's other folks, but in the way that I view the world, my paradigm, we create our reality. And so at the end of the day, ultimately, it's on us. If we don't have peace, it's not anybody's fault but our own selves. So it's important to get quiet and unplug and to meditate and to move your mind to the place of peace. What the oracle is indicating is there is no peace with a lot of us. That right now we are caught up in life's dramas. That we are caught up in mega fear. We're making people feel fearful. We are feeling fearful because of what the world is saying. What is the ultimate reality? See, this all goes back to self-realization. The ultimate reality is not this physical world. And when we connect our consciousness in a way where we are aware of the ultimate reality, the world, you're not afraid of the world. There's nothing that moves you in this world. This is what you want to move towards. And your human side will tell you, you better not sleep. You got to stay watchful. You got to be on your game. That's what my mind has been telling me. I've been struggling for probably a good year, probably more, but for sure I can trace this back easily. Good year, where I'm like, I got to stay on my game. I got to be watchful. I got to watch my back, you know, because this world is just, it's getting crazy. It's always been crazy, for real. Study history. Folks been killing one another, stealing from one another. Folks been acting a monkey since the beginning. Okay, this ain't nothing new. We just exposed to it more. So I just encourage you to be grateful, to work your daily spiritual practices. If you're not doing your daily spiritual practices, you have no room to complain. All right? Just stay down there in the muck and the mire. But when you do your spiritual practices, life may not be perfect, but it is so much better feeling, and we can cope more. Okay? And make the choice to operate from your true place of peace. This is Omilade, your goddess guru, here hoping that this message has been one that will help you. If you are interested in divination or reading, just go to the link below and let me know which one you want. There's instructions there, and I will be more than happy to divine on your behalf to help you find that place of peace and to get more firmly on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Blessings of the goddess be upon you, and may you have a joyful, peaceful week. Peace.